Sponsored by Brilliant. Get smarter every day and save 20% via brilliant.org/vector. Apple started the year in privacy off with a colossal flex, giant billboards across from January's CES show in Las Vegas, saying what happens on your iPhone stays on your iPhone. It was privacy by design, privacy as a civil right. But that was quickly followed up by a bug that could allow eavesdropping through FaceTime calls. Then, June, an impressive array of new privacy protections, including sign-in with Apple, HomeKit secure video and routers, increased tracking protection, private federated learning, and an anonymized new Find My network. Then, this fall, a scandal involving Siri and letting humans, contractors even, listen to and grade customer voice recordings for quality assurance. An industry-wide practice becomes scandal, yes, but one unexpected and unacceptable given Apple's position on privacy, both moral and marketing. Up, down, up, down. What was left was to make it right. And Apple's doing that in two ways. A, with the release a week ago of new, fully disclosed opt-in grading process for Siri, and B, the unveiling of a new, detailed privacy website, including 4 new privacy-centric white papers. So, let's break it down. I'm Rene Ritchie, and this is Vector. Now, Apple's had a privacy section on its website for a while, and they've updated it before. That's all been around Apple's stated policies of data minimization, on-device intelligence, transparency and control, identity protection, and security to enable that privacy. Today's update, though, is the biggest one yet. It goes beyond statements and policies to break down in plain language with, yes, clever titles and cute animations, what Apple is doing across their software and services products to make privacy manifest. That all includes intelligent tracking prevention, social widget blocking, fingerprinting defense, private browsing, and search minimization in Safari, random identifiers, on-device personalization, location fuzzing, sandboxed extensions, and end-to-end encryption in Maps, on-device memory creation, sharing suggestions, classification, and curation, single photo permissions, secure metadata sync between devices, and sharing controls in Photos. Random identifiers, on-device suggestions, on-device processing for Siri, and with that new opt-in grading system. Zero profiling and on-device recommendations in News. Device account numbers and dynamic security codes to protect your Apple Pay and Apple Card purchase data, even from merchants. Also, Apple Payments Incorporated keeps your Apple Cash transactions separate even from Apple. Encrypted health data, and if you start sharing activity and then stop, historical information is purged from shared devices. Share location only once, background tracking notifications, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth shaming, location sharing options on a case-by-case basis in location, random identifiers, on-device curation and recommendations, and opt-in information for sharing with publishers in News. No in-game tracking or ads in Apple Arcade. Encrypted data transmission, unique key encrypted storage for health, home, and keychain data, two-factor authentication, and Apple retained keys for data stored at third-party data centers for iCloud. Encrypted keychain stored data for home, local analysis for a HomeKit secure video, local processing for HomeKit actions, granular control for HomeKit-enabled routers, and random identifiers for HomeKit Siri requests. There was a story yesterday about a woman who was using a third-party cycle tracking app and forgot to fill it in 1 month. Well, unbeknownst to her, that app was secretly sharing her personal, intimate data, and she started getting served Facebook ads for baby and mama products because the people stealing her data just assumed she must be pregnant. She went back, filled in the month, and the ad stopped. Then, incredibly creeped out, she took to Twitter. That's the largely unregulated, surveillance-centric world we're living in, and it's only by actively supporting all the as close to zero knowledge options we can that companies will be forced to adopt similar policies and implement privacy-respecting technologies. The new white papers Apple has posted dive more deeply into 4 specific apps and services. Safari's cross-site tracking prevention, fingerprinting defense, private click measurement, which Apple has proposed as a new web standard, a way for advertisers to get the data they legitimately need without sucking up everything else along with it and letting the browser maker along for the ride. Location services permissions, disclosures, settings, background access, tracking notifications, and Bluetooth and Wi-Fi shaming, which, if you've seen how many apps iOS 13 has exposed as secretly using Bluetooth to spy on our locations, is a real eye-opener, if not rage-inducer. Photos on-device processing for scene classification, composition, analysis, people and pet identification, image quality, face quality, and audio classification for video and live photos, relevancy curation, sharing suggestions, optional full data sharing, and a ton of other quantifiers and enhancements, which is way beyond what I actually thought they were doing in the app to date. Sign in with Apple and its email obfuscation, anonymous relay, and tracking prevention. In other words, same single sign-on convenience as sign in with Google or Facebook, but without the huge compromise in personal privacy that go with them. One of the technologies I'm most fascinated about, and forgive me if I geek out for a moment, is private federated learning. Federated learning is one of the latest machine learning buzz concepts that basically pushes down a model to your device, lets you help train it, then pushes that training back up to the cloud where it's combined with everyone else's on-device training to improve the model for everyone. It offers better, more immediate performance for us because it's on our actual devices all the time. But it also gets better over time as the model gets updated by everyone, for everyone. I've described machine learning before as Tinder for computers, where it's yes, no, yes, no, no, yes, hot dog. In this case, as your phone gets better at identifying your hot dog, for example, everyone else's phones get better at identifying hot dogs as well. What a lot of companies call private, though, isn't really private. Anonymized data has a way of being easily de-anonymized based on a variety of signals that come along with it. So what Apple is doing is obscuring things even further using differential privacy. If you're not familiar with differential privacy, imagine you and 999 other family members are at dinner, arguing about which is better, hot dogs or hamburgers. Instead of everyone blurting out their opinion and suffering the wicked side eye for them, they each flip a coin. Then, if it's heads, they write down their opinion truthfully. If it's tails, they lie and write down the opposite opinion. That way, you never know if any one person lied or told the truth. But with statistics, you can still pull back the real total results for each. That's what Apple's doing with federated learning, both on device and on the server, for things like adding trendy new terms to the QuickType keyboard and Siri recommendations. So literally, it has a better chance of knowing the memes without knowing your specific memes. So, real talk. I get the knocks on Apple and privacy. I really do. The billboards, the ads, the attitude. It can come off as cocky, and when the inevitable bugs like FaceTime or screw-ups like Siri data grading come up, that cockiness comes back to bite Apple on the ass, at best, or make it all ring hollow, at worst. The industry schadenfreude is palpable. Some, many even, might say Apple should cut out the hype, stop with the strut, and just shut up and fix and improve their stuff. And I get that. I totally get that. That was my reaction too. But now I think that's exactly wrong. Apple raising the stakes is ultimately better for everyone. It forces a higher level of scrutiny and accountability on them. Those billboards put Apple in the crosshairs, and that's great for Apple customers. But it also annoys the hell out of and helps shame the rest of the industry into doing better. It puts them in the crosshairs as well, and that's great for all customers. Before Windows viruses, nobody cared about security. Then the malware panic began, and security became a competitive advantage for everyone. Now, all of us are better off. Before Facebook and Cambridge Analytica, nobody cared about privacy. Now, privacy is on the verge of becoming a competitive advantage as well. We're already seeing Facebook and Google being forced to put privacy front and center on their keynote stages this year. They focused on third parties instead of first, of course, and Facebook tried to gaslight us by conflating privacy with encryption and Google with data retention, but that, at least, put them into play and under the spotlight, hopefully to enjoy the same scrutiny and accountability, both for what they're doing and what they're failing to do. That includes Apple as well. iCloud backups are fail-safe because that's what's best for the majority of users, but I still want to see a fail-secure option for those who need it. iMessage is end-to-end encrypted, but SMS fallback isn't. I'd love a per-instance option to prevent that, instead of just a universal toggle off. Google is still the default search engine, and there's no way to choose DuckDuckGo as part of the initial setup process. And then there's governments. America with San Bernardino, Australia with anti-encryption laws, and, most recently, most severely China and their effort to exert influence well beyond their own borders. So, Apple, you go. Ratchet up the rhetoric, ratchet up the pressure as well, on yourselves and on the industry. Like that James Cameron saying, I want to see every company set their goals so ridiculously high that even their failures will be failures above everyone else's successes. Make the stakes that high, higher, high enough that you worry about failing all the time and force everyone else in the industry to worry about it and do something about it as well. And if you individually want to get involved with privacy technologies, Brilliant can help you get started. Brilliant is a problem-solving website that uses a hands-on approach with storytelling, code writing, interactive challenges, and so much more. There are over 50 interactive courses for you to dive into, including computer science fundamentals, perfect for high school or college students or early professionals who want to brush up on their basics and strengthen their knowledge of core concepts. And who knows, maybe make the stuff that makes all of our stuff more private and more secure in the future. Because Brilliant is built for ambitious and curious people, the ones who want to better understand the world and help shape it. To support Vector and get unlimited access to Brilliant's courses and daily challenges, just head on over to brilliant.org/vector and get 20% off their annual premium subscription. Thanks, Brilliant, and thanks to all of you for supporting the show. So, that's what I think. Now I'd love to hear what you think. Hit like if you do, hit subscribe if you haven't already, share if you care, and then hype up that bell gizmo so YouTube will actually tell you when the next video goes live. Then hit up the comments and let me know. How do you feel about Apple and privacy, Google and privacy, Facebook and privacy, your privacy? Thanks for watching. See you next video.